Jesus and the solstice. The energetic power behind Christmas, the cosmic portal. What if I told you that Jesus chose to be born at exactly the most energetically powerful moment of the year? That the winter solstice is not just an astronomical phenomenon, but a cosmic portal that opens between heaven and earth. Prepare yourself. Because what you're going to discover today will reveal the profound connection between celestial cycles and Christ's mission on earth. For millennia, ancestral civilizations recognize the winter solstice as the most sacred moment of the year, when cosmic energies align in a unique and powerful way. At this exact moment, between December 21st and 25th, something extraordinary happens in the universe. The sun reaches its lowest point on the horizon. The night reaches its maximum duration. And for 3 complete days, our star appears to literally die and be reborn. The ancients called this period the death of the old sun and birth of the new sun. They understood that this was not just a physical event, but a visible manifestation of invisible spiritual laws that govern all creation. Jesus Christ, as manifestation of divine light, could not have chosen a more perfect moment to enter the physical plane. Today you will understand how the winter solstice creates a dimensional opening that facilitates contact with higher planes of consciousness. How the energies of this time of year potentiate profound spiritual transformations, and why Jesus used this cosmic portal to bring his message of light and love to humanity. The sacred science of the solstice. The winter solstice happens when Earth's axis reaches its maximum tilt relative to the sun, creating the shortest day and longest night of the year in the northern hemisphere. But this astronomical phenomenon hides profound spiritual truths that ancient masters perfectly understood. Around December 21st, something extraordinary occurs. The sun rises and sets at exactly the same points on the horizon for 3 consecutive days, appearing to be completely stopped in the sky. This is the origin of the word solstice, which comes from Latin solstitium, meaning sun, standing still. During these 3 days, the sun is at its point of greatest weakness, symbolically dead, before beginning its return journey, being reborn with renewed strength. Ancient civilizations around the world built monuments aligned precisely with the winter solstice. Stonehenge in England, Newgrange in Ireland, Machu Picchu in Peru. All these sacred temples were designed to capture the first rays of the reborn sun at the solstice. Why? Because the ancients knew that this moment carries a unique, energetic frequency, a vibration that opens portals between dimensions. Modern quantum physics is beginning to understand what ancient masters always knew, that everything in the universe is energy vibrating at different frequencies. The winter solstice represents a point of energetic inflection, a moment of perfect balance between death and rebirth, darkness and light. Jesus, as an ascended master, perfectly understood these cosmic laws. His choice to incarnate during this period was not accidental, but part of a divine plan carefully orchestrated to maximize the spiritual impact of his mission. The 3 days of darkness and rebirth. There is a sacred pattern that repeats in all spiritual traditions of humanity. The cycle of death, 3 days of transition, and glorious rebirth. This pattern is not a human invention, but is inscribed in the very laws of the cosmos, and manifests most clearly during the winter solstice. When the sun reaches its lowest point and appears to stop for 3 days, it's going through a symbolic death. Light is at its moment of greatest weakness, darkness dominates, and there's a sense of uncertainty about whether the sun will return again. Our ancestors lived this experience with profound intensity, as they depended completely on sunlight to survive. They lit bonfires during the solstice, not just to warm themselves, but as a ritual act of faith, keeping the flame of hope alive during the darkest days. On the 3rd day after the solstice, something miraculous happens. The sun begins to rise a little earlier each day. Light begins to gradually conquer darkness, and life returns to Earth. This is the true birth of the new sun, and this is why December 25th was chosen to celebrate Jesus' birth. Now understand the profound connection with Christ's story. Jesus was crucified and died, descended to the underworld according to tradition, remained 3 days in the tomb, and on the 3rd day resurrected in glory. This 3-day pattern is not coincidence, but reflects the same cosmic law that governs the winter solstice. Jesus was demonstrating in his own life and death the eternal cycle of transformation that is inscribed in the very structure of the universe. The death of the ego, the period of transition in darkness, and rebirth in a higher consciousness. The cosmic energies of the winter portal during the winter solstice. Earth's energetic field undergoes a profound transformation. People sensitive to subtle energies report more vivid dreams, intensified spiritual experiences, and a sensation that the veil between worlds becomes thinner during this period. This is not imagination, but an energetic reality that can be understood through both ancient wisdom and modern science. Esoteric tradition teaches that there are certain times of the year when dimensional portals open more easily, allowing greater flow of spiritual energy to the physical plane. The winter solstice is the most powerful of these portals, along with the summer solstice, the equinoxes, and mid-season dates, like Celtic Halloween. During the winter solstice, Earth is at a specific point in its orbit around the Sun, and this position creates a unique alignment with other cosmic forces, including the galactic center. Ancient traditions speak of cosmic rays, high-frequency energies that penetrate Earth's atmosphere with greater intensity during these sacred periods. Modern science has confirmed that cosmic ray activity really varies throughout the year, and some studies suggest peaks during the solstice. Jesus, as a fully conscious, Christic being, chose to incarnate during this energetic window so that his spiritual light could anchor more deeply in the planetary energetic grid. His birth during the solstice was not just symbolic, but functionally strategic, taking advantage of ideal cosmic conditions for the manifestation of divine consciousness on the material plane. When you meditate or perform spiritual practices during the solstice period, you're working with the same energies that facilitated Christ's incarnation. You have access to the same cosmic portal that Jesus utilized. Jesus and the universal solar tradition. In cultures around the world, we find surprisingly similar stories of solar gods born at the winter solstice. In ancient Egypt, Horus was born of a virgin at this time. In Persia, Mithras was born on December 25th of a virgin in a cave. In Greece, Dionysus was celebrated as the son of God born of a virgin during the solstice. Critics of Christianity use these similarities to suggest that Jesus' story is just another solar myth, but the spiritual truth is much deeper and more wonderful. These stories are not copies of each other, but different expressions of the same universal cosmic truth. Jesus did not come to contradict ancient spiritual traditions, but to fulfill and elevate them to a new level of manifestation. He said he came not to abolish the law and the prophets, but to complete them. Ancient solar religions were correct in associating the divine with light, the sun with higher consciousness, and the winter solstice with the moment of Grudis, spiritual power. Jesus is called in the Gospels the Son of Righteousness and Light of the world because he is the full manifestation of what the ancient solar gods symbolically represented. The crucial difference is that Jesus was not just a symbol or archetype, but a real historical being who lived, taught, died, and resurrected, demonstrating in flesh and blood the truths that before were only myths and symbols. Understand this profound mystery. Jesus is simultaneously the historical fulfillment of prophecies and the living manifestation of universal archetypes. Here's the point where the eternal meets the temporal, where myth becomes reality, where symbol gains body. When you honor Jesus during Christmas, you're connecting not just with a specific master, but with the universal force of divine light that manifests through all authentic spiritual traditions. Practices to access the power of the solstice now. That you understand the energetic power of the winter solstice and its connection with Jesus. How can you consciously work with these energies for your own spiritual transformation? During the 3 days of the solstice, from December 21st to 23rd, do an internal spiritual retreat. Even if you cannot physically isolate yourself, create a sacred space in your heart. These are the 3 days of symbolic death, the perfect moment to let die everything that no longer serves in your life. Do a spiritual fast, not necessarily from food, but from negativity, complaints, limiting thoughts, and old patterns. Allow your old self to die with the old sun. Observe the sunrise on December 21st if possible, marking the beginning of this sacred period. Light a candle and declare your intention to be spiritually reborn. During the following 3 days, practice deep meditation, silent contemplation, and sincere prayer. This is the period of gestation in the cosmic womb, where you're being prepared for your own rebirth. On December 25th, Christmas Day, celebrate your spiritual rebirth. Rise before dawn and watch the sunrise as an act of reverence to the solar Christ being reborn, both in nature and within you. Light a white candle representing the Christic light now shining in your renewed heart. Make offerings of gratitude, not material ones, but offerings of your time, attention, and love to those around you. During the 12 holy days between Christmas and Epiphany, maintain a daily practice of alignment with solar energies. At dawn, dedicate a few minutes to meditate on the light of the rising sun, visualizing this light penetrating your body and activating your inner Christic consciousness. At night, reflect on the day and identify where you shone as light in the world. The call of eternal light. Jesus taught that you are the light of the world, a city built on a hill that cannot be hidden. These weren't just poetic words, but a literal truth about your spiritual nature. You, as an incarnated divine spark, carry the same light that Jesus fully manifested. The winter solstice teaches us that even in the deepest darkness, light is never truly extinguished. It only temporarily withdraws to return with renewed strength and greater glory. Likewise, no matter how dark the moments in your life, the divine light within you never dies. It just waits for the right moment to shine again. Jesus' mission was not to create passive followers, but to awaken Christs, people who recognize and manifest their own divine nature. When you celebrate Christmas, understanding its cosmic and energetic meaning, you're not just honoring a past event, but activating a present reality in your own being. The solstice portal remains open each year, offering the opportunity for spiritual rebirth to all who are willing to pass through ego death and emerge transformed. Jesus crossed this portal definitively, showing the way for all humanity. Now it's your turn to follow this path, to allow Christic light to be born in you, to become a bearer of the same consciousness that Jesus manifested 2,000 years ago. The universe is aligned to support your transformation during this sacred period. The same cosmic energies that facilitated Christ's incarnation are available to facilitate your own spiritual awakening. Accept this divine gift. Open your heart to the light that never goes out, and allow the true Christmas to happen within you now and always. If you felt the energy of this message, leave your amen in the comments. Share this video so more people awaken to the power of the solstice and Christ. Subscribe and activate the bell to receive revelations that will illuminate your spiritual path.